it's not like when you get to the top of the mountain, it stops. When you get to the top of the mountain, you still have to do whatever it takes to stay on top of that mountain, which is usually at least, if not more consistency than it took you to get to the top of the mountain in the first place. And that's why it's so hard.
The purpose of success is not to get success, as weird as that sounds. It's to make meaningful progress, to improve the quality of your life, and to grow and contribute beyond yourself.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1755, sometimes consistency feels impossible. So we're recording this on July 3rd. So tomorrow, the 4th of July, Independence Day in the U.S., is a very, very big holiday. And a lot of people are having barbecues. I just got off with a client who said, yeah, I'm having 14 people over to the new house. We're going to be partying, living it up. I said, have a blast. I hope it's wonderful. And Alan and I were talking, we've been talking over the last few weeks about how in the summer, people tend to slow down. And I texted Alan today because Alan said somebody canceled the call, and he said summer's always a frustrating time. And I said I said this to Taryn today. I said it's very challenging for me to stay consistent. And this is my truth. I had a moment today where I was like, I don't want to do anything because I can feel the energy of the world. I know that sounds... I'm a wizard. I'm just a wizard. It's not... Don't villainize
No, I
me
can
for being a
too.
wizard.
I do know what you're saying. Yeah,
and I think a lot of people can. I don't know if that's
of
like
course. There's
something
something
special.
energetic. I think humanity's all connected energetically. I think that's fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
And right now, it's the 3rd of July. I'm a wizard too. You're a wizard, Harry. I think that's something that was said in that movie.
It is?
At some point. Yeah, I've heard enough through the grapevine.
Thumping good one, I reckon, as well, once you're trained up a bit.
Okay. Same. Same to you, Haggard, or whatever, Hagrid, whatever your name is. Hagrid. You can feel the energy of the world. And when you can feel the energy of the world, as a wizard, of course, I wanted to take today off. I didn't want to work. Seriously. It's going to be 82 degrees out. Taryn's going to Vermont Friday morning, and I'm staying here working. I'll be working on the 4th of July. I'm giving a speech to Evan's group on the 4th of July,
nice.
Virtually. And then we have a meetup. And I have a coaching call with 2 humans that would never miss because of a holiday, Evolve Ventures. Of course,
nice.
they're not going to miss on the 4th of July.
No.
But there was
Bianca and Emilia do not miss.
Super consistent. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about consistency. But I had that moment where I was like, everybody else is taking time, and I can feel that energetically. And I think that's a reason why consistency is so important, because everybody else is doing it. Why shouldn't I do it? And it's really hard. It's really hard.
I think we should shout Bianca and Emilia out, because
100%.
I think they're a great example of what can happen when you are consistent.
Mm.
I saw their post earlier today. We got a really awesome testimonial. Shout out to Charlie. She gave us this awesome 3-minute long testimonial for group coaching that was just wonderful. Thank you so much. And I posted that today. So usually when I go to post, I will see other posts. And one of the ones that came up, Bianca posted something along the lines of their 300th episode. And I know it wasn't recent. This was someone commented, so it got put back on the top of the feed. And I just had this moment of like, you guys are awesome. You guys are magnificent. Because I remember when they started the Why Power podcast, Why You Do What You Do. And you and I were like the 3rd interview or something. I remember we were in chairs in the studio. You were hungover
that day, yeah.
Yeah, you were. Hey, you still showed up though. And this is about consistency. So you were consistent. You weren't at your best, but you were consistent.
That's fair.
And I've been coaching them for a long time. Obviously, Emilia and I are wildly in love, and she's my coach, I'm her coach, and we're pillow coaches. We joke about that. And they basically are their acorn, their keystone, their through line, their theme, their purpose, their calling, their passion, their one thing that they never strayed from is mental health in general. So Bianca's a clinician. Emilia is doing trauma certifications right now, and she's been studying this stuff since she was 12, which is also why I've transformed so much since meeting her. And she's the one who encouraged me to get a therapist, all this stuff. So anyways, I recently was on a call with B. Bianca, just jumped to weekly coaching. And we've been just getting after it. And I just had this moment earlier today of they are super, super consistent. And the truth of the matter is they have, between the two of them, I think they have, if you don't include Bianca's clinic that she works for, between the two of them, I think they have 30 clients. If you do include the clinic, I want to say it's like 70 or 80 between the two of them. It's just unbelievable. And we meet podcasters all the time, right? And a lot of them aren't winning, quote unquote, particularly on the finance side. It's not easy to build wealth with a podcast, despite what some courses tell you.
Yes.
And they just aren't really doing a very good job. And I told B, I said, I'm very proud of you for, despite all of your pendulum swings in the last 5 years, in this case, Of All Ventures was technically born 3.5 to 4 years ago. They're like 4 years in. I'm really proud of how you've never strayed from your main through line. So you and I, holistic self-improvement is our main thing. Self-improvement, success, and fulfillment is kind of what everything we do is. Yeah, the vehicle changes. Sometimes it's podcast coaching. Sometimes it's business coaching. Sometimes it's mindset. Sometimes it's a community or group coaching. But underneath it all, it's improve yourself, be more successful, be more fulfilled. I mean, ultimately, that's what it is. Yep. And mental health, I don't want to say we're bad at, but we're not as good as they are.
No, fair.
Because we're just not as focused on it, right? And we're not clinicians. So we're more coaching success. They're more clinicians, mental health. And we both do both, obviously. But I'm very proud of them. And ultimately, we meet a lot of podcasters. And a lot of podcasters really struggle to generate revenue. And I understand why. We did too. Mm-hmm. But they've done a great job. And the reason why underneath it all, it really comes down to I just watch the way they work. B is extremely consistent. Mm-hmm. I've coached her for 5 years now, and she just crushes consistency over and over and over again. And Emilia is the most consistent human I've ever met, other than, as scary as this is to say, it would be me. When I first met Emilia, that was one of the only things that I feel like there's a couple things I was very much ahead of her on. One of them was focus and consistency. But from the moment we lived together, brother, to now, she does not miss a goddamn thing, dude, ever.
I believe it. And
it's unbelievable. And the truth is a lot of people want their success. They want to start their own thing. They want to be their own boss. They want to start a podcast and succeed and have a community. But the truth is, I don't think you really can. It's almost like Kevin and I coach Bianca and Emilia. He coaches them on the podcast side. I coach them on the business side. We kind of know they're going to win.
Because they'll never stop.
Yeah.
You know why consistency is so hard? If you asked Bianca and Emilia on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you feel like they're winning? They would say 1 or 2 probably.
I know. Yeah.
And that's why consistency is so hard, because even when you get certain results, you don't feel like you're getting any results. Alan loves the word paradox. This is a paradox. The day we crossed 1 million listens and $1 million in the business, I felt very little, because I'm already looking at the next goal. And I had a call with a client that day, and I said, you know what's interesting? There are a ton of people who are aspiring to get to where we get to. And I was aspiring to get to where we got to for the vast majority of the time. The second it happened, the clock shifted, and it was the next goal. That's why consistency is so hard, because you're probably not doing it for a specific result. And when you get the specific result, you have to maintain the specific result.
Hello, NLU listener. Thank you, as always, for listening to Next Level University. Real quick, I just want to jump in and let you know about the Next Level Dreamliner. This is a journal that I use every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. It breaks down your dreams into goals, milestones, and daily habits. We hope you enjoy it. The link will be in the show notes.
We're doing the 10-pound in 10-week challenge. And I was talking to Matt last night, and I said, my thought behind doing this was I'm going to cut to 165 pounds.
Did you tell him you can see your abs for the first time in 6 months?
I did tell him it was happening. And Matt just got engaged, so he was like, "Dude, I got to get my S together."
Mm-hmm.
I am going to cut to 165 pounds, which is really lean for me. 165 pounds, I'm going to be very lean, but it's going to suck to get there. Then I'm going to focus on bulking to 170 pounds, gaining muscle, and then when I cut back down to 165, I should have more muscle and look a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I want to do that is because I know if I just work consistently for the 10 weeks to lose the 10 pounds, and then I fall off track, I'm going to have to do the 10-pound and 10-week challenge again in 6 months because I'm going to break free of the consistency.
Which might happen.
It's not. I won't let it happen.
Not this time. Not this time.
I can't.
I'm joking.
Well, it's very reasonable to think it would because it's happened every other time. But that's another reason consistency is so hard. It's not like when you get to the top of the mountain, it stops. When you get to the top of the mountain, you still have to do whatever it takes to stay on top of that mountain, which is usually at least, if not more consistency than it took you to get to the top of the mountain in the first place. And that's why it's so hard. Now you get better and you're able to collapse time in some things, but that's one of the reasons consistency is so hard. Because yeah, maybe you want to lose the weight or get the relationship or whatever it is, but I've had to be more consistent as a husband after I was married than before. Mm-hmm. Before, when you're dating, it's easy. It's not that hard in comparison.
Yeah.
But when you live with someone, you have a household with someone, and you're legally married, and there's repercussions of the amount of money you make, and bills, and cats. If you're watching or listening, you have children. I'm not negating what it's like to have children. I don't have children, so I can only speak to cats. But you have to be more consistent afterwards than you did in the beginning. And it's weird. Success is elusive for a reason. It has to be. Because if it wasn't elusive, it wouldn't be considered success.
I'm going to try to articulate this.
You have 6 minutes.
I know.
So this is going to be a 15-minute episode. I was supposed to say that in the beginning, but we just went off to the races.
I don't know if I've ever gotten this to fully land. I watched my first YouTube video ever with someone earlier today who's scared to start their channel. And I just realized how everyone's in this same sort of boat of, well, I don't have enough certainty to take action. But yet you won't have enough certainty until after you take action. So what's the small things? Remember how you reached out to somebody and you said 0 to 10, how scary would it be to post a video on social media of you speaking into the camera? Mm-hmm. And then you said 0 to 10, how scary would it be to send it to me if I promised not to send it to anyone? And they said, that's within my comfort zone. That's good. That's a 5. I think it was like 0, 5, 10. I don't have time. Yeah. But the point is, I did that with someone today. I said, just send it to me. And she was very scared. I totally understand. I said, you're never going to be less scared than you are right now. She's like, well, I don't feel ready. You never will. Mm. And that's another episode altogether. But when you reach a new level of success, that next level, pun intended, nothing gets easier. That's why Bianca and Emilia don't feel like they're winning, because they're playing a bigger game now. And I do believe that the purpose of success is not to get success, as weird as that sounds. It's to make meaningful progress, to improve the quality of your life, and to grow and contribute beyond yourself. Success is achieving a specific goal. But the moment you achieve that specific goal, I was on earlier with another NLU team member who, quite frankly, has achieved many of her dreams through the success of NLU. A lot of her dreams, and not only through the success of NLU, by the way, person, if you're listening, I know it's not just been us, but we've been a big part of it in the last couple of years. That's understandable and wonderful. But now what? And the now what feeling only comes after you achieve whatever that thing is. So the million listens, $1 million. Now what? I purposely chose an infinite game that's unachievable so that I never have the now what moment. I'm not saying everyone should do that. I think it's a duality. I think you have to set this massive infinite game mission, purpose, calling, and then set little tiny milestones, small goals along the way that are achievable in order to be fulfilled. And I think that it's really important that everyone understands that consistency is a byproduct of commitment toward meaningful goals. And the moment the meaningful goal goes, you better believe consistency is done. Dude, I want to beat my old best in fitness, and that's a hell of a climb. Yesterday I had a moment, I was like, whoa. Emilia mentioned, she said, you look so cut. And I sent a picture to the 10 pound and 10 week challenge. I feel like that's a good picture of me. And I now say I hit a PR yesterday. And when I say PR, I mean a new PR since COVID. And then I injured myself and was out of the gym and all this stuff. So I'm going from a new mountain. But I haven't given up on bettering my best. Naturally. No steroids, no drugs. I want to surpass my old best. And I think it's going to take me like 7 more years of commitment to even get to a place where I could. I'm still going for it. And here's the thing. Even if I don't get there, I'll be consistent at hydration, sleep, nutrition, training, mobility, breathwork, supplementation. I'll be a better Alan even if I don't get there. And consistency is a byproduct of meaningful goals, I think. And the moment those go, I think you just lose the necessity to be consistent.
I would agree. I would agree with all that. And I think that landed probably better than it ever has. Last thing before we go. There have been times where Taryn and I would plan like a date day. And we'd drive an hour or we'd drive an hour and a half to a place and it would be closed. And Taryn would say, babe, I'm so sorry you drove all the way here for nothing. And I've never once been mad about that. Like, it's good. Don't worry about it. Did you have, we wanted to have a good time. This was the plan. Don't worry about it. I think it's very similar. I don't really care about the outcome. I care about the fact that this is what you wanted to do, and there you go. It's all good. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. So this is one of those detached from outcome kind of situations, but it's a very dangerous one because obviously you want the outcome, but it's a whole thing. Maybe at some point we'll do an episode on detached from the outcome and what that means now to you versus what it once did.
I would love that.
He would love that.
Yeah, because I now understand it at a much deeper level. I used to reject that completely, and now I understand the value of it.
Always learning, always growing, and always hypocrites because we're saying things and then learning later. Not hypocrites in a bad way, but
I know.
You know what I mean?
How dare
All right,
you?
We got to go. Group coaching starts Tuesday. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Stay consistent for fulfillment. Next Level Nation.